the radical noble faction, known as the Hungu faction, which participated in the founding of Joseon, supported Sejo's accession to power and dominated the political arena. Advocating for national strengthening and centralization, the Hungu faction was tolerant of studies other than Neo-Confucianism, pursued practical Confucianism, and valued science and technology, contributing to the early development of science and technology in Joseon. However, over time, they became large landowners, monopolized commerce and industry, and began to amass vast wealth, engaging in corruption and malpractices. Meanwhile, the Sarim, successors to the moderate noble faction of scholars like Jongmongju and Giljai, who did not participate in the founding of Joseon and retreated to the provinces to focus on scholarly research and education, began to grow around the Gyeonggi and Chungcheong regions and the Yeongnam region in Gyeongsang province. Originating mostly from middle and small landowners, the Sarim pursued ethical and righteous politics based on morality and righteousness, aimed at local autonomy, and grew in power through Seowon, private Confucian academies, and Hayangyak, village contracts. Because they adhered to the fundamental philosophy of Confucianism, they valued the study of the classics, despised science and technology, and rejected thoughts other than Neo-Confucianism. In the 15th century, as the Hungu faction, which had contributed to Sejo's rise to power, seized political control, his successor, Seongjong, appointed the Sarim, a new political force, to check the Hungu faction. The Sarim who entered the central political stage were mainly from Yeongnam, including Kim Jong-jik and his disciples. With Seongjong's efforts, the Hungu and Sarim reached a balance of power and cooperated on national compilation projects and cultural reforms. However, the conflict between the two factions deepened as officials appointed to positions like the Ijo Jeonrang and the three Sasayang positions, who had the authority to speak in the court, criticized the Hungu's corruption and advocated for political reforms. Yeonsangun, who succeeded Seongjong, aimed to suppress both the Hungu and Sarim factions to strengthen royal authority, particularly oppressing the Sarim faction for their media activities that checked the royal power. In this process, the Hungu faction initiated the Muo Saha, accusing the Sarim of expelling them over Kim Il-sun's presentation of a memorial written by Kim Jong-jik in the Sejo, which they interpreted as commemorating Danjong, who was killed by Prince Suyang. Yeonsangun, a descendant of Sejo, was provoked by this and eliminated the Sarim faction involved in 1498, known as the Muo Saha. Following the Muo Saha, Kim Jong-jik, who had already passed away, was posthumously executed, and many Sarims like Kim Gwang-pil and Jong Yo-chang were exiled or executed, removing many from the central political scene. 6 years later, in 1504, an event related to Yeonsangun's mother, Queen Yoon, being deposed and executed for conspiracy led to the elimination of related Hungu and Sarim factions, known as the Gapja Saha. Following two Sahas and Yeonsangun's tyranny, the officials and People's Rebellion led the Hungu faction to depose Yeonsangun in 1506 and install Jungjong as king, known as the Jungjong Rebellion. How will Joseon's history unfold from here? I will detail the Gimyo Saha and Eulsa Saha in depth.